Yeah, no fist fights today. We have some differing opinions here. Hello, everyone. I don't know if anybody is there. We are sitting in the countryside in Tennessee. And if anyone is there, can you please let me know if you can hear me? I have 2 microphones plugged in, and these guys are louder than me. So I'm thinking that they're going to pick up those microphones. I don't see anyone. There is no one there. I'm talking to no one. Okay. We can just, well, the thing is, you know, this was kind of an impromptu thing. There is Susie. Hi, Susie.
Right.
Hi. Oh, gosh, it's so hard to see in this glare. We have Susie, and we have, I cannot read who that is.
You can talk enough.
Yeah. They'll be coming along. Can you read that word right there?
That is Hibiki.
Hibiki. Where are you writing from, Hibiki? Because I don't recognize. Hi, Foo Forest Permaculture. Hello. And Jamila is from Trinidad and Tobago. I know that now.
Nice.
And I believe, aren't you, Martajan? You're in. Remind me where you are. And there's Mix. There's Mix from Latvia. I think that's Mix. Yeah. And Mary Court. Hi, Mary. And Nathan. Hey, Nathan. We're coming to you from Tennessee. And hey, James is here from Missouri, St. Louis area, Alabama, and the Netherlands. That's right. I knew that. So we're getting a few countries going here. And I have with me a very old. Well, he's not very old, but he's an old friend of mine. This is Guy Zimmerman. He is a forester. And this is Darrell Luck, and he's a new subscriber to my channel. In fact, he just subscribed last night.
First channel I ever subscribed to.
Right, and I don't think I'm in the middle here. Let me move this down so I can be sort of. That didn't work, did it? I want to be in the middle of you 3 guys.
Yeah, 2 guys.
Okay. 2 guys. 2 guys. 3 guys. Okay. Okay. So this is Darrell Luck, and he is a bamboo grower, a gourd enthusiast, to put it mildly. And we have been shooting a video all day at Darrell's place, and we just brought Guy in for the second part, which was the mushroom hike. And let's see. Okay, it's perfect. Great. Hey, Deadly Wound. Hey. No rant. You folks are lucky. Yes, we got lucky. And North Star Prepsteader is there. And Patty, I can't tell where you're. Oh, you know what? I don't have any monitors set up. Oh, shoot. Let's see. I'm hoping that, Deadly Wound, are you going to be with me for an hour, do you think? I can make you a moderator, and you can just watch out for any people who have bad intentions. Let's see. Yes, well, we didn't see any lion's mane. Let me just put it that way.
Giraffes and elephants, but no lions. Not bees.
We got some major carpenter bees flying all around her house. Mexico, but my name is Japanese. And are you writing from Mexico? That's wonderful. Hi, Food Forest Permaculture. Is that Howie? I think. I need to make somebody a moderator. Deadly Wound, are you going to be with me for an hour? Hi, Janice. Are you going to be who? Oh, who's there? Patty is there. Okay, hi. Wonderful, Patty. Thank you. Okay, so I was introducing Darrell. I got to get over here. We're squeezing together here on the sofa at Darrell's home. He's got about 38 acres here in the countryside, and we have had a nice look at some of that today. We went to another place for mushroom hunting, and we have so much to talk about. It's kind of controversial stuff. I'm looking down through here. Maybe we're maybe we have to throw this out.
This will be your last YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, you have no idea. So
difference of opinions.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's talk about bamboo. I don't know if anybody is interested in hearing about bamboo, but this guy knows his bamboo. He's got 12 varieties growing in various bamboo gardens, and you're going to see all that on the video that I will go home and edit and upload.
Just 12 varieties in front of the house. I have 35 varieties altogether.
Sorry. So Darrell and Guy has spent his whole career in forestry in the Department of Forestry in Tennessee, and so they were just getting into a little bit of an argument about. Darrell believes that we could stop growing hardwood for paper and stop that crop or whatever you call it and use bamboo. So you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, and I'm sure Guy's going to have an opposite opinion. So this is where things could get interesting.
Make no assumptions. Make no assumptions.
Well, I think, see, right now we use, all right, the paper companies will come in and they will cut down an entire hardwood forest. That is a huge loss, and it destroys the environment, and there's soil erosion and everything from it. They come in, they plant pine trees in rows. You got 15 or 20 years, you can harvest that, and you can make paper from it. And they can do that over 2 or 3 times before they've depleted the soil. Okay, well, the thing is, what if a fire happens after 12 years, say? You lose all that growth of those pine trees, and you have to start all over again. If you have a bamboo forest and there's a fire, it all comes back up again the next year. You don't even have to replant. It does it on its own. So that's a huge advantage.
Don't you think that's a good idea?
The other thing, there's more. The other thing is, right now, the acreage that we've allotted to make our paper, it takes up so much acreage in this country of trees, we could cut that down to 10% of what we're doing if we did it just with bamboo. Because you're just reusing that same smaller parcel every year. It's producing for you no matter what. Even if you had a fire last year, here it comes again. So,
what do you think, Guy?
Well, in this part of Tennessee, bamboo, there's only one native species, and the
you can't make paper out of that one.
No,
it's not big enough.
It's not the right one. You
no,
could.
It's not the right bamboo.
There's a better one.
But the bamboo has become an invasive plant in some areas of Tennessee. Not very many areas, but it is invasive. And once you establish it, it can become a problem if there's nobody there to take care of it. And that's basically how everything becomes invasive. Somebody will plant a bush, a tree, or a plant bamboo, multiple rows, privet ahead, trees, and they become invasive because they're not taken care of properly. And an invasive plant takes the habitat away from the native plant. And it can become exclusively, I've seen some places where tree of heaven, for example, in China, it's a tree very common over there, but there's nothing native that controls it, and it will just spread and it will grow and crowd out everything in its path.
Right. Let me switch places with you, Guy. I know that's kind of a crazy idea, but then I'll be able to see the comments switchy way over.
Okay.
Well, now you got the two guys with different opinions side by side.
I know, but at least now I can read the comments, because we do have a question here, and T. Ken says bamboo shoots is a good vegetable. Well, guess what? We ate some last night, and in the video that I'm going to edit, he digs up shoots and then shows how you prepare them for vegetables. And we had that last night, and so you're going to see that. And also somebody else, Patty says, everybody hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that, please. I've only gotten 8 of those, and 20 people are on. And please do that right away. And Mary thinks that's a great idea. And also, I am back in Tennessee. That's correct. I am for about 4 days. And don't forget, everybody, if you want to hit that super chat, that $sign down there, make a donation to my channel, I won't refuse. Thank you so much for your support. And Martijan is saying, what is the biggest bamboo or something underworld? I don't know. What is the biggest bamboo?
What is the biggest bamboo or is underworld? I don't know.
Martijan, can you rephrase that or re-ask that question, because we don't know exactly what you're asking. Let's see, everyone, and of course Patty's pointing out that pine trees will regrow after a fire too, because the pine cones explode and then they
but you're gonna wait. You're gonna wait.
It depends. We burn pine stands all the time.
Right.
Why? Oh, just to get them to do.
To get rid of the fuel that's underneath it, so it won't burn, for one thing. and two, to get rid of the competition. So fire is a native part of pine trees. Like there's
what is it? What is a native part?
It's part of it. It's
what is
part of the culture?
What is?
Fire.
Burning.
Burning.
Okay.
Fire.
Okay.
Fire. As a matter of fact.
And by the way, Guy is also a firefighter for many seasons, right?
For a long time.
Wildfire
But
fighter.
before we get off the invasive, I want to address what you said about the invasive plants. Because, okay, tree of heaven, multiflora rose, some of these that are invasive, honeysuckle, others, I love the smell of honeysuckle, but other than that, it's probably not worth having around maybe. But the thing is, we call things invasive because they're new and we don't like them or we don't know how to use them. But bamboo's different. We're ignorant here in America about bamboo. China and Japan, they have a whole bamboo culture built up around it. They use it in so many ways. And we could be doing that here too. So you see bamboo and it's spreading. Well, that to us, that's a bad thing. Do you know that in Japan, if you buy a parcel of land, if it has a bamboo grove on it, its value shoots way up. You'll get a lot more money for that piece of land if there's bamboo on it, because that's how they look at bamboo. Here, people would look at it and say, oh, I ain't going to buy that. It has bamboo on it. Mm-hmm. It's an ignorance thing, right? We need to make use of it. It's a useful plant. And America did get shortchanged.
Well, Darrell, that's why we're doing this live stream, to inform people. They're not ignorant. They're just uninformed.
That's what ignorant
is.
We
are informing
that is what ignorant means.
About bamboo today.
Yeah. I didn't call anybody stupid. Nobody's stupid. I said ignorant.
No.
Stupid's knowing
it's totally different, okay?
That's right.
We wanted to also talk about, if you have any questions about bamboo, now's your chance to ask them. But we're going to talk about a lot of different things, so we're going to jump around.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure that you guys move a little bit more this way. I don't know how to move this down to get you more on.
I don't usually sit this close to people that disagree with me.
Yeah. So Darrell uses a lot of wood chip mulch here, and he's all organic. He uses no pesticides, no chemicals whatsoever. Never has.
Never have.
And you've been a farmer. Why don't you just briefly tell your history of farming? And
she had to put that in there because I don't say anything briefly.
Long-winded. Okay. Like the video is going to be like 35 minutes long.
You didn't know what you're getting into, did you?
Yeah.
Now, I started gardening when I was like 19 years old. I don't know, about 1975 or something like that. And I had friends that had some land, and I had to have a part of their land, and it was 10 miles from my house. You can't have a garden very well that way. The garden needs to be right outside your door.
That's what I
right around your house.
Even in Los Angeles, when I tried to put tomato plants across the street and down the block, about halfway down the block, if you don't see it when you walk right out, you're just going to ignore it.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep going.
So, I've moved around a lot. I've had different farms. So what I have experience with is coming to a place that's still woods or just an abandoned farm, maybe situation where I need to turn that into good garden beds and get it up and productive and, whatever you need to do. I've done that many times over. Mm-hmm. And there's a trail of bamboo. Every farm I've ever lived at, you don't like to hear that. I have seeded all over Tennessee.
Probably everywhere on that farm by now.
That's
Nobody controls it. It's just gone crazy.
No, they're smart people and they use it.
Maybe. Tell them about your resource for wood chips here.
There's two resources I have. One is just a landscaping company I've gotten to know, and if they're working nearby, they'll bring me a free load, which is always nice. But sometimes I need it now, and I'll pay them to bring me a load. Mm-hmm. There's also a place in Cookeville where you can go, and the county takes all their mulch. It's a mulch area.
By the way, they can't see your left arm, so they can't see if you're pointing. He's pointing that way.
Yeah, I gesture a lot. I don't know. People tell me I do it too much.
But there's free resources for wood chips.
Yes, you can get them free. If you're patient, you can get them all free, I guess. But
unless you live in the desert.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a great thing.
That's harder too. Yeah.
It's a great mulch, and it breaks down and makes beautiful soil. And I'm building new land here where I have big slopes. I'll take truckloads and truckloads and truckloads and put all these wood chips in and make a level area.
Are you compacting that with a loader or
I
something?
don't compact it. It'll settle on its own. And after maybe 2 years, it is going to sink down some. And I just add some more wood chips. And eventually, it'll all be soil and it'll be at the level I want. And I've created new level ground around here, which I don't have much of. This is a really mountainous piece of land.
Yeah.
One of these days it might be.
No one is asking any questions.
I hope so.
Okay, everybody.
Just,
on that note, I just have 16 of these and I have 23 people on. So can you please do that? Now, if you guys are interested in gourds, Darrell is a major gourd grower and enthusiast, and you'll be seeing some of that in the video. Although, once again, I'm traveling in an early part of the season. It's the garden. I can't even see what he's going to be growing in terms of his garden yet because it's only April, and but he has big plans for his gourds, and he's grown a lot of gourds in the past. And you also carve gourds, and you're also a woodworker. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I used to be a wood carver, just using wood, and just the competition with carving machines and people from Bali who are great carvers that have cheaper prices. It kind of, didn't make sense for me to keep doing that. But carving on gourds, the machines can't do that. And I don't know, maybe some people in Bali do that, but there's not a lot of competition. So I'm kind of getting back into it now that I've retired. I'm back into the gourds and carving on them and wood burning a little bit.
But it's very, it takes a lot of time. And do people, like if you've sold them in a crafts fair, he was saying that people passing by can't really appreciate the work that goes into it and pay a fair price for it. So yeah, it's hard, right, to sell them.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
So it's more of a hobby.
Right now, that's all I want it to be, and it is. Yeah. It was a business when I was younger. I was trying to make money at it, and right now I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah.
And maybe a few years from now, I'll have 100 finished pieces, and I'll put them up for sale.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to do that as a business.
Yeah. And Guy, tell us a little bit about firefighting. What was that like? I can't remember now why you got into that.
Well, part of my job with the state of Tennessee was a forester, and foresters fight wood fires. And in Tennessee, that was probably the number one objective, is to deal with the forest fires that are created. That was priority. And then I also contracted myself out to the Forest Service, and I would go to California and Montana and a lot of the fires out west.
But I mean, you need special skills to be a firefighter. You were a forester, but
yes, well, there's training. And there is a system that
he even came out to California to fight some of our fires out there.
And there is a system that's in play where there's all sorts of jobs that are on an incident. They call the fire an incident. And you start with the incident commander, and you go all the way down to the guy pulling the firefighter that's pulling the rake or using a Pulaski to fight the fire with it. And it takes a lot of resources to fight fires nowadays. So
what do you think about that? Let's talk about that for a second, because do you feel strongly, like everybody else, that the climate change is really affecting how devastating the fires are?
I do.
Yeah.
There's no question on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time that I ever realized that there is a change in climate was I looked at a photo that was in Glacier National Park, and it was done about 100 years ago. And then an individual came behind this guy that took that photo all through the park of the different glaciers, and many of them were missing. They just melted. And so the glaciers are melting in Glacier National Park, and I think there's some theory that maybe in the next 30, 40 years we may not have any glaciers in Glacier National Park.
Yeah.
So that I know there's climate change. Everybody's arguing, well, is it man caused or is it natural cause?
What's the difference? Let's just get and fix it. Stop arguing about anything and just do something.
Well, in my opinion, the fix for global warming and cooling it off is, one of the problems, and I don't think that you can argue with it, is carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And there's no question about the carbon dioxide has been increasing in the atmosphere. So there's carbon sequestration and forestry as becoming part of forestry, and planting areas and keeping them in woodland for years, and there's actually a payment system for carbon sequestration. And a lot of companies will buy so many carbon credits from.
We have to do much more than that,
Yeah.
though.
Well, I mean that's
one thing.
That's one thing.
Yeah, that's just one thing.
And stopping production. Fossil fuels and this.
Marta Jen has asked his question again. What is the biggest bamboo in the world?
Oh, well.
And you see, because you're sinking down there.
Well, yeah, I was relaxing.
Yeah, you can relax after the live stream.
All right. Well, I from my readings, the biggest bamboo still around in the world is in India, and I believe they said it was 3 feet in diameter, but it's a real rare bamboo. But there is historical record from China in Yunnan province over 1,000 years ago that there was a bamboo forest where bamboo grew that was 10 feet in diameter and 1,000 feet tall.
What?
It's just in written records. I can't, it's not here now. You could never go look at it.
1,000 feet tall?
1,000 feet tall and
That's
10
taller
feet in diameter.
than any tree, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tallest trees a little over 300 feet.
So I just read that. I don't know.
Deadly Wound is asking. He's got river cane, makes good trellis arbors. Zone 5. He's asking, any bamboo grow in Zone 5?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's several bamboos they will take down to about 20 below zero. I have a few of them here on my property. If we take a walk, I could show them to you. But yeah, you just go to a bamboo nursery website, and they'll describe all the bamboos and what temperatures they can take and everything. You have quite a few choices you can still do in Zone 5.
I think that sort of answers Carrie's question. Which zones does bamboo grow in?
Yeah.
Almost all, right?
Well, yeah. There's places, the southeast United States it's a great place for bamboo. It thrives. And up around Oregon and Washington does pretty well. They have a good bamboo thing going there. That's
why it's invasive.
That's why it's invaded the whole country. Just live with it. But anyway, you have a lot of choices. The further north you go, the less choices you have. But even in Ohio, Pennsylvania, there's a few bamboos you could grow. I grew up in a place that had a bamboo grove. That's why I got interested in bamboo, I guess, because I used to go hang out at it when I was a little kid. It was down along the river, and I couldn't stay away from it.
Marta Jun is asking, can you grow bamboo in the Netherlands? I would assume so.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
The only restriction is your temperature thing, and even if you buy one that say it goes down to, it says it's good to 20 below zero, and you get 25 below zero. Well, what'll probably happen is it'll kill the top of the plant. But the roots will survive, and it will come back next year. So, it won't be a thriving plant if it's at that edge of that zone. It's going to be struggling. I have one here called Moso that it should be about 5 inches in diameter, and it's not even as big as my little finger. It's struggling.
The thing is, you want to grow bamboo to eat the shoots. You said they're very nutritious, right?
Absolutely. I wish I'd got that paper because I had a whole list. Maybe I can find it before we stop.
Oh, okay. But not all of the varieties you eat. Because
no, all bamboo's edible, but some don't taste that great, and some taste a lot better. Some you can eat raw, but not very many. Most of them you have to cook and pour off the water. You're getting rid of a bitterness that's there, and then you can cook them and do anything you want with them. But
yeah, we had it last night. Let's see if we have other questions. Grows in Phoenix in Zone 9B, I would think so. And Mix is actually watching us, not from Latvia today. He's watching from Poland.
He gets around.
Yeah, he does.
Try to get in touch with me, Mix.
He's also said he's seen bamboo growing in Germany.
Give your website or your email address to Kaye. I'll get in touch with you.
Bamboo grows well in Missouri, James says. And Mary says they grew the tall, skinny bamboo for fishing poles until the fiberglass poles were. Yeah, we're gonna actually. He actually mentions that in the video that we did this morning. This person, I can't even read. Let's see. Looking up 777 says. Their dad was in Japan in the Navy, and when he came home, he planted bamboo in the yard.
It has that effect on
Blue
you.
Moon is here from Bosnia. Hello, Bosnia.
Wow.
And down Highway 52, I forget, Mary, where you are. Which Highway 52 is that? Okay, so I think we're caught up on questions. Grow a food forest and have everything. That's true, food forest permaculture. Hunt, gather, and grow. I agree. Not everybody's able to do that. Let's see, some of the other things we were going to talk about. This is, he was just telling me last night about where I'm completely changing topics. Oh
yeah, I got to tell you.
Yeah, you tell us.
This is okay. This is a weird thing. All right, and this is on the topic of GMOs and why you don't want to be eating them. And I'm going to refer you to Dr. Zach Bush. Look that man up.
Yeah.
You're going to learn a lot about GMOs. He's an incredible individual.
He was mentioned in my last live stream when my son was talking about him.
Yeah. And I discovered him on it's called GMOs Revealed. It was on YouTube, a docu-series. And I learned a lot. But this little tidbit that Zach Bush said to me just really drives home the damage GMOs are doing to all of us. Okay. And before I say that one, let me tell one little thing is they found that when we consume, like say Roundup, that's on the GMOs, it damages our gut bacteria. And the way it damages our gut bacteria is it makes them explode. It kills them their stomachs just explode bacteria don't have stomachs. But anyway, it affects them in a big way. And it's not even targeting them. It's targeting, it's targeting something in the plant kingdom. But here's what I wanted to tell you. All right. Everybody knows about how hot dogs are made. Okay. The skin of a hot dog is actually the intestines from pigs. And that's how we've made hot dogs for a long time here in America, right? We can't make hot dogs here anymore with our own pig intestines because we've been feeding them for the past 20 years, GMO corn and soybeans. Their intestines are trashed. They're no good. We actually import from Australia and New Zealand where they don't use GMOs. And we bring pig intestines over here so we can keep making hot dogs. So that's how bad that stuff is. I mean, you put it in your body, it may not have the exact same, it's going to have a bad effect on your gut bacteria, which will result in lots of bad effects.
I did not know that. And I think we need to think about that the next time we're buying hot dogs.
Or any food that's GMO.
Well, I mean, in one way, I guess it's good because that means if you're buying a hot dog, then the skin is from New Zealand where it's not contaminated.
Yeah, but everything in the hot dog's bad.
Right.
Yeah, but they're good.
Oh, they're good.
A little sauerkraut on hot dogs.
Yeah, well,
Man.
Yeah.
Or slaw.
Good.
Chicago dog.
I love all that too. You just have to get a good quality dog.
But if you're trying to avoid GMOs, I mean, really, just if you go buy bread or corn chips or something at the grocery store and it's not organic, it's got Roundup. You're eating Roundup. It's in there because they spray the wheat or the corn, whatever. They spray it, even though it's a non-GMO thing, at the end of the season to dry it out real fast. It's called desiccate, right? Yeah, they desiccate the plant so you won't have mold growth and all that. So right before harvest, they spray Roundup on it and then give it to you as soon as it's dry. And they make corn chips out of it. And they make, you buy this stuff that's processed food. If it's not organic, it's in there.
Right. I will just repeat this because I want everybody to just keep this in mind that the top 3, according to the website, which the name escapes me at the moment, the top 3 things you absolutely want to buy organic are strawberries, celery, and red apples. And now I think spinach has been added to that.
I think peaches.
And green beans are also in there.
Peaches would be in there too.
They have a list comes out every year. They tell you.
It's the Environmental Defense Fund? No. Anyway, they study all of the chemicals that go into food and also other products like the skin, the sunscreen that we put on our skin. And the strawberries, celery, and red apples have been the top 3 most toxic, most sprayed of pesticides and herbicides of any thing that you consume. So either avoid them. If you can't get organic, just avoid them because you're just putting too many chemicals in your body and you don't want to do that. Does anybody have any questions about this stuff? Yes, Mary. Alabama. Let me see if there's any more. No more comments. Okay, so What else?
I don't think GMOs are all that bad in every situation. GMO means genetically modified organism, doesn't it?
It does, and it really should be. Now, I heard this, so I can't confirm this, but I did hear this somewhere. I read a lot of stuff, and we need to be saying GE, not GMO.
Right.
We need to say genetically engineered when we refer to these
I don't
various
think there's anything
things.
wrong with being genetically engineered. I think there is a problem when you want to genetically engineer something, put a pesticide on it. Well, that's
crazy.
That's a problem.
Right. Well,
make
that's
it pesticide resistant.
That's what they're doing. They make a plant,
but not in all cases.
Yeah.
So in some cases they might make
they
might genetically modify a plant to be genetically resistant or be resistant to predation by an insect. It might be a certain insect, and they can genetically modify a plant to where a certain insect won't eat it. And they've been doing that for years, but they've been doing it not.
The only way they do that is they make it so that, well, I'm not an expert, but they make it so that the plant is Roundup ready.
Well,
so
that's some of them. Yeah,
but not all. Not all genetically modified organisms are designed to be pesticide proof.
Right. But all genetically engineered anything, okay, it's an experiment. And we are the guinea pigs.
His voice? Let me
give you an example of something that's genetically modified.
All right.
And they're trying to genetically modify it right now is the American chestnut. And years ago, they brought in a blight called the chestnut blight around the 1900s, and it wiped out most of the American chestnuts because it had never been exposed to the chestnut blight that came in from China. And the Chinese chestnut can survive it, but the American chestnut cannot survive it. So they are trying to genetically modify the American chestnut to be able to resist the blight. And they are, eventually I think they'll be successful, but it's a genetically modification program that they're doing right now in trying to make it resistant. And that's the only way they're going to be able to do it, is make that.
So that has nothing to do with Roundup.
No, that doesn't have to do it. And you can't tie Roundup to GMOs all the time because, like, they have a GMO salmon that they just came out with.
Well, I was just gonna say, what do you think of Frankenfish?
Genetically engineered salmon, which
they're calling it Frankenfish, and it's literally 3 or 4 times the size of a normal salmon.
It grows extra fast.
The thing is, once it's sliced up and it's made into nice little packets and frozen and sold in Costco or wherever it's sold, the average consumer is not going to know that it's Frankenfish.
And they're making sure that you don't. They're not going to allow it to be labeled. It's not going to be, you will not know.
Yeah, you won't know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You won't know because they're not going to label it.
They're not going to label it.
And the thing is...
Well, what's wrong with it?
All right, I'll tell you that. You listen to Dr. Zach Bush, and you will not ask that question ever again. But I'm telling you, what he's...
You're going to go home tonight and you're going to...
Yeah. Anyway... when we do this weird thing we're doing, this huge experiment, and all of us are the guinea pigs so that a big corporation can make a lot of profit. That's all this is about. It's all about money, right. Okay? And they tell us they're saving the world. And
you don't have to eat salmon.
Right. And we don't
have to eat salmon.
But when we change one gene and we move it or we obliterate it or whatever we do to make these changes, we are being so ridiculous in thinking that, you can just do that and there's no other effects or anything. Okay, yeah. We're finding out that all these genes have lots of communication with each other and there's connections. And if you pull one out or alter one, it might activate another one. It might turn another one off.
And they're trying to say that they can control where these fish are going to live and not let the fish escape to the natural streams. And
so what's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with it is if that fish would escape, it's going to breed with other salmon. Okay, and since the new one grows 3 times as fast off the same amount of food, okay, it's going to outgrow the other ones, and it'll be the salmon that's out in the ocean in the future. And we don't know what else we've created. We don't know what we created there. All we know is it grows fast.
I agree with
We
you.
don't know what else we've done.
That's the same
Okay.
thing. You can argue that about bamboo.
We'll try not to have a fist fight here today for you. But
Yes, deadly wound. You're right.
what do you say?
I'm not going to repeat it. Let's see. We are too dependent on stores to feed us. Fish for your own. Yeah, if you can, that's for sure. Let's see. Mary says the pecans here are around 30 to 40 years old. They don't produce huge crops, but they still produce. Deadly wound is a friend of mine, Patty.
Well, a lot of pecans you have to have. You can't produce pecans.
God, I can't
by
even
having
read.
just one
So much
pecan tree.
glare. Go to the small and private.
Fish bonger and buy a whole fish. Statistically, it's safer to use fish heads for bone broth.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, and that's something I was going to say. I know a lot of people use fish emulsion for
Mary.
fertilizer.
Mary says, now I'm glad I never liked salmon. Yeah. Yeah, well, we're obviously touching on a lot of stuff here. I was going to also, you mentioned root stout as well. What were you talking about?
Yeah, well, that's
root
how I
stout?
got my start in gardening.
Okay.
There's a book that came out in the 70s. You can look for it maybe on Amazon or someplace. You can find it real cheap. It's called Ruth Stout's No Work Garden Book.
And if you buy it on Amazon, make sure you buy it when you're inside my link on Amazon, so I get a couple of pennies.
Yeah, help her out.
Okay, and maybe Patty or somebody, I can't see well enough to post links down here. There's a lot of glare on the screen. I can barely read what you're saying. So my link on Amazon is amazon.com/shop/late bloomer show. And if one of you guys could write that and post it, that would be awesome. Go ahead.
But Ruth's basic thing is you keep your garden mulched at all times through the winter. You might open it up a little to plant some seeds or to get little seedlings set up. But as soon as they're tall enough, you mulch back in over them and they stays covered the rest of the year. And she used hay mulch, but wood chips are great. Fall leaves are great. Just whatever organic matter like that you can come up with, and you put it on thick. Somebody asked Ruth Stout a question once. Well, how much mulch should I put on my garden? And she said, more.
More. Guy, let's talk for a lot of people don't realize that. And my brother, who is also a biologist for the state of Virginia, he's forestry in Tennessee. Most people don't really understand that. I guess they don't believe that these huge tall trees, which you're going to see a lot of in the video that I'm going to edit and put together. We just took a walk in the woods and we'll talk about that. But they don't understand or believe that the roots go down deep as tall as the tree goes up. Most of the roots are right on the surface. And you just wonder how what supports the trees, and it's the mycelium in the forest.
Some,
yeah.
Some of the mycelium, but the roots, grab a hold of the rock.
Yeah.
And probably 95% of the root system is in the top 2 feet of the soil.
That's incredible. We were seeing the trees were at least 50 feet tall today, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 80,
maybe
80,
60.
90 feet.
Oh, 80, 90 feet tall.
Some of them 100 feet.
And then you go by a creek bank where there's been some erosion around the bank, and you see half of the roots of the tree. They're all gnarly, and they're literally deeper than 2 feet.
Yeah.
Not even one taproot goes down, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you'll have roots are going to grow to water.
Variety? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Roots are going to go to the water.
Okay.
And so wherever there's water, there's going to be roots. So if you got a leaky sewer line and it's 10 feet underground and it's percolating up through the soil, the roots, if you got a tree back around, the roots going to find it and they're going to grow, and they're going to grow into your sewer line. And they're going to grow through the water. So wherever there's water, that's where the roots going to be. And so most of the rain is on the surface. Most of the water around here is on the surface in the top 2 feet of soil.
Yeah, and the soils are shallow. You got rock pretty shallow. You hit rock, so they only have so much to work with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
especially on the slopes.
Yeah.
A lot less soil, just bare rock a lot of places.
And the roots will grow out sometimes twice to 3 times the height of the tree. So if it's a 100-foot tree, the roots could be 300 feet away from that tree.
Wow.
And they interconnect with all the other trees.
Mary's still talking about the salmon. She said the genetically altered salmon will be like those living fish that were supposed to be a good thing for our rivers. They have almost done away with the native fish. So stupid. Oh my God. I made it. Hello. Hey, Maggie. Thanks for tuning in.
To me, the biggest thing bad about all this GMO thing is that we're doing it. We're letting these things loose out in the environment. It's an experiment. We don't know what we're doing yet. And it's out there. We can never get it back once it's out there.
This is what they say about chemicals in our country is we have to, it has to be proven that a chemical gave us cancer. Directly proven until they stop producing it. In other words, they go, okay, you can put it on the market, and we don't have to take it off until a number of people have died or been sickened by it, and you can prove it. That's what drives me crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we haven't proven anything with this frankenfish, and we don't even need it to start with, in my opinion.
Right.
And you know, it makes me crazy. What else do you want to talk about? We've got the decline in bugs and honeybees. That's on our list.
Yeah, I made the observation this summer. I took a 3-hour drive on the interstate and a 3-hour drive back. And when I stopped for gas, there were 2 bugs on my windshield that I cleaned off. But I realized that, hey, every other summer, every time I stop for gas, the window's coated with bugs.
Well, I thought it dropped off years ago because I remember.
There's a bug flying around.
Well, we got one bug here.
We've got a carpenter bee that is, but it's not going to bother.
You know, we
us.
laugh, but maybe a few years from now, we'll get that excited when we see one bug, right? And if it gets to that, we don't have much time left because that's the start of the ecosystem collapsing. You can't get rid of all insects and think that everything's going to keep clicking along. It's not going to happen.
Insects are integral to. I mean, if they go, then we go. You know. So, I mean, the salamander.
How do you feel about eating bugs?
Well, I'm not crazy about the idea of eating bugs, but I mean, we're going to run out of bugs. Except for, I think that we'll never run out of the bugs we hate, like termites and cockroaches.
But guess what? I read a book about eating bugs. All right, I thought, I'm not into it really, but I'm going to read about it. And a lot of countries, it's real common and everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in there, they said that
Korea.
They said the 2 best tasting bugs. I thought, okay, well, if I was ever going to try it, I'll zero in on that. The best tasting is the mites that go into the bees. The little mites. Yeah, they're larvae. That's supposed to be the best tasting bug there is. Number 2 is termites.
Yeah, termites.
Termites. So now, I don't know if this will disgust you, but I got brave one day. Turned over a board, saw some termites. I had just read the book, Should I? I ate a termite.
One?
Just one. I wasn't too brave.
It didn't
taste bad.
You can't get a real opinion.
Well, I wasn't going to make a plate full first time.
You need to do that. Next time you get around termites, just turn them over and start eating.
Just
get down there and start
I just might. It didn't taste bad. I won't say it tasted good. It didn't taste bad.
Yes, Christina is saying Europeans have the better approach. Test long-term testing before approving.
Yes.
To enter the environment and food chain to humans. Yes, Europe is working hard to ban Roundup and all glyphosate products. I just saw another.
But the problem in Europe is if you eat beef, you've got a chance of getting the mad cow disease. But you can get it. You can still get it, but it's very unlikely that you'll get it. But if you go to Europe, you can get the mad cow disease. So it just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're eating.
Yeah, you're right. So let's see if anybody's got any questions. I'm having to hand pollinate my winter squash. Mary is in Alabama and she's having to hand pollinate her squash. because she doesn't have enough bees.
No insects. Yeah.
He hardly sees any honeybees here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one, and he's got flowers everywhere.
Well, and around here, there's bee growers that actually will take their hive on a apple orchard.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they charge money for it.
Oh, I know. It's big. That's what they do. They bring tractor trailers out to the California groves and they come across the country in these semi tractor trailers, and they bring the hives out to the groves in California because there's not enough bees, and they need the bees to pollinate the fruit trees.
So you know what?
And the almond trees.
You know what our great leaders have come up with for the solution to this problem? Robotic bees. They're going to make little bees to do the job.
Oh, I know.
You know, we can go ahead and destroy the environment. We're going to make these little metallic bees to do it now.
I know.
They're actually working on it.
Speaking of metallic bees, I didn't have a close-up lens today, but I saw the most metallic green bug I've ever seen. It flies, and I don't know what it was. It's only about that big.
Some kind of
but
beetle.
it was insane. I've never seen a bug that brightly.
There's a bug called assassin beetle.
Well, there's a lot of assassin bugs, yeah.
I think there's one that starts doing it, but I don't know if that's.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of
I think
boring insects in trees that are quite.
Right. We were talking about on our hike. First of all, we went on a mushroom hunt, which of course I captured on film.
Let us tell you.
I mean, not film, obviously, but video.
I got to interject here. Here are two guys who have hunted mushrooms, morels, lots in the past. We walked right past and almost stepped on the only morel that was out there today, and she found it.
We call them dry land fish.
Dry land fish. Dry land fish.
That's the local thing around.
The local name for morel mushroom here.
Yeah.
Or do you say morel?
No, morel.
Morel mushroom. And so he went out 3 days ago.
Yeah, I found 7.
And found 7. So we were hopeful, but we were out for a while, and I found the only one we saw. We found a few fossils, which were interesting. And of course, you'll see all that on the video. You have that to look forward to coming up when I get home. Let's see. Horticulture Geek says he says it's rough here in Arkansas. All the cities and towns have the spray trucks that go around trying to control the mosquitoes. Which is great on one hand, but it drives me crazy on the other hand. Yeah, that's the problem. Is what is it? Malathion. They used to spray this years ago. When I first moved to LA, they were spraying malathion at night when people are sleeping to try to control the mosquitoes. Oh, I mean that. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're spraying in Arkansas. It's insane. I mean, we're getting chemicals from the sky. We're getting chemicals from our household products. We're getting we're bombarded with chemicals in the water, fluoride, and among others, chlorine and chlorine and what is the new one? Chlorine wasn't strong enough in LA, so now they use the stronger one, which starts with
chloroform.
No. Oh, good grief.
I think it makes the water taste better.
Shut up.
You're
going to get ejected from this bench here soon, buddy.
You remember? No, nobody remembers this. But in the old variety shows, they would have this long hook that would come out.
Yeah.
And like, slide you right off the. No, he's a good guy. He loves the woods. Okay, you saw bumblebees pollinating your blueberries in Alabama. That's wonderful. Maggie says, how horrible, poor, beautiful bees. I know. Where in state and local laws does one find out how spraying is approved? That's a very good question. Does anybody know? I mean, you do?
I have a pesticide license. And to spray.
Yeah, but they're talking about the citywide thing.
They have to have pesticide license.
Well, of course they do, but I mean, who's Who's
The state, wherever they are, will control it.
is that? The local ordinances?
Usually the
Is that the
Department of
council
It's
person?
usually the state agriculture department will control pesticide license for whatever state. And it could be another department. They could call it something else. But if you got a complaint, that's where you would want to complain. Probably that's where you first look would be the agriculture department, because everybody. I have a pesticide license, and it's required in the state of Tennessee for spraying restricted pesticides. Roundup is not restricted, but there are a lot of pesticides.
Now we spray it on the schoolyards and the playgrounds. There
are a lot of them that are restricted that you have to have a license. And
Right.
each one of them,
But
each one of them they've done a lot of research on a lot of these, and they don't know everything about them. But each one of them has specific uses, and so it can be used like tree of heaven. There's certain chemicals that you could put on tree of heaven to kill tree of heaven, to make it go away.
why do they call it tree of heaven if it's so invasive and such a?
That's just the common name. I call it the tree from hell.
Okay.
Around here now in China,
Yeah.
it's great. But
Yeah.
here it's.
Gee, that's kind of.
But we got stuff we're sending over to China, and they've got the same problem over there. We're sending, they've got
invasives that are coming
from our country.
That makes sense. Yeah. Because when we opened up the trade from all over the world trade,
That's what
that's where it all
was
happened.
from Netherlands said they want to know if they could grow bamboo. My guess is you better check to see if you can import bamboo, because a lot of countries have a lot of restrictions on what you can bring into your country. And I know if you go to California from Tennessee, they'll ask you the minute you go into the state, what have you brought into the state? And they want to know if it's a plant or whatever.
Well, I think the thing they're most concerned about right now is this the citrus. That's the thing that's coming in that's going to destroy the citrus, because citrus is a huge industry, obviously, in California, and that could be devastating. And I forget what it's called, but every time you buy a citrus tree at the nursery, it will say on there.
It's canker. Is it a citrus canker?
No, it's a psyllid or some kind of bug.
Oh, a bug.
Yeah, some kind of bug.
Kind of like a fruit fly.
It's an Asian.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I forget the name of it. Let's see. What else? What else would you like to talk about, you guys? You have some farmers and foresters and me. And does anybody have any questions for us? Kaye, have you heard? Okay, horticulture geek. First of all, that technically was not a swarm under my woodshed. I mean, under my garden shed, because they just broke off from another hive, and there was an existing beehive under there. I mentioned that in my video, and so. And they can smell, even though that it's old and unused, they can smell that for miles. And so they just went there. And the bee lifespan is, I think, what did he say, 22 days or something like that? The queen can live for 7 years, which is remarkable. But the average worker lives for, because they work so hard. And they're all female. Did you know that all the worker bees that are doing all the work and taking care of the queen bee and going out and foraging and coming back and building the hive and making the honey and all of that, all females.
That's the way it should be.
That's what it should be. And they're out there eating chemicals while they're doing all that hard work.
Okay. So what was I going to say? So to answer your question, there was a small group of bees that were obviously not welcome. They did not get vacuumed up with the others, with the queen. And they were obviously not welcomed back to the hive where they split off from. And so they just kept hanging out there until they died, unfortunately. But this is just the natural process, because if they split off from another hive, they might not be welcome to come back. And so when I was relocating, not every bee got taken to a new location.
I wanted to mention that
old seed I brought back.
Yeah, he has a funny story about some tomato seed.
A long time ago at a country stand selling vegetables, I found these little tomatoes. They're about the size of a blueberry, and they call them spoon tomatoes. And they are great for in a salad because they're perfect size, just mix in a salad. And they're real prolific. Okay, so I grew them for many years, and I saved a lot of my own seed and everything, and I thought I saved some, but apparently I didn't. And so for many years I lived without spoon tomatoes, thought I had lost those seeds, and kind of kept my eye open around if I could find them again. I haven't. Well, this year, going through all my seeds, getting ready to do my gardening this year, I found a little baggie, and it said spoon tomatoes, 1996. All right, I planted them. I got about 15 growing right now. Now, I do keep my seeds, all my seeds, I store them in a refrigerator. If they're dry, if they're truly dry, that is the best temperature to store your seeds. They're going to last a long time. Freezing's a little harsher than you need to do, and room temperature is not good enough. So those lasted, 96, what's that, 23 years.
And he's going to give me a little.
I'll give you a seedling, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully they won't ask me at the airport about it.
Well, they will. Yeah.
Not if I don't
call you a
tell
terrorist.
them. Not if I don't tell them.
They'll tase you.
Let's see. What did you say? Mary says the mosquitoes are so bad they can't sit outside after sundown in Alabama. Well, Mary, do you have citronella growing all around your sitting area? Because that's supposed to really help. And
chemicals do too.
Oh, geez. Does she have standing water, a pond or something nearby, swamp, anything like that? Why is there so many mosquitoes? That sounds weird.
You put a little oil on the water, it keeps the mosquitoes from.
I'm sure that
there's different types of oil.
Well, I use mosquito dunks for any standing water in my place. But I mean, mosquitoes can breed in a tablespoon of the water, and you can't put a mosquito dunk in every single tablespoon. There might be a little saucer underneath your plant, your container plants, and it might have a little water in there, and they can breed in there. I think it's just like 4 days or something, or a few days.
Doesn't take long,
a few days.
Just need still water.
But I would recommend planting citronella all around your place where you like to sit outside in the evening, and also. I recommend.
When they start buzzing, just start shooting those.
Oh, hush! With a shotgun. I recommend I have these particular mosquito sticks that are herbal, and because in the cozy corner I can't sit outside either without burning one of those. Wow. So at least one. So because we have mosquitoes too. Let's see. The citrus disease is called greening, I think, and that. I can't read your name there. It's just too light colored. SPAD. Anyway, I think it is called greening, but it's I forget what the actual insect is that carries this disease, and that's what I was trying to think of. And Deadly Wound is saying something. I wonder if the bees have been vaccinated.
I hope not. That's even worse for them.
Okay. What else?
Enough problems already.
And Lou wants to know. Lou wants to know, what do we do with the mushrooms? Well, we ate them last night, and with the bamboo shoots, and it was absolutely delicious. And you'll see that in the video. But basically, you have to boil the bamboo shoots for 40 minutes.
I burnt about a half hour. Yeah,
and that makes them tender.
And you pour that water off now, because there's most plants that taste bitter. It's what you're tasting is cyanide. That's the most common, and there's other bitterness things, but a lot of the plants use cyanide to protect themselves. That's why they're bitter.
That's a natural.
Yeah, they're trying to keep things from eating them. Okay. So bamboo has that too, and by boiling it and throwing that water away, you got rid of the cyanide. Now you have something good to work with, no bitter taste, and you can, season it any way you want, cook it any way you want. Really.
He sautéed it with butter and.
We had onions and mushrooms and bamboo shoots and sautéed in butter. That's all.
Oh, so good. Red onion, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's see.
Aren't you being kind of hypocritical?
No, I doubt it. Why?
Because you're talking about eating a plant that's got cyanide in it. What about all these chemicals that?
Mary,
but I got the cyanide out.
Mary, are you saying they spray in your town? They're spraying in your town for mosquitoes? Oh God! I mean, it's going to make so many people sick. Ooh, there is a very, very big wasp.
Just stir him.
He'll be all right. He'll go away.
He's eating that piece of pineapple. Okay. Now, listen, I got stung last year in Tennessee. I don't want to get stung again.
Hey, I wanted to make a comment to somebody that.
Well, Mary said they spray every night. They spray every night
Good grief.
in your town? That's horrible.
The woman that made the comment a while back about, saying, hey, we got, or maybe it was a guy, I don't know, we got honeybees on our blueberries or something like that. They made the observation that they saw bees on their blueberries. Congratulations. But let's all think about that for a second. I mean, the fact that that's worth talking about and mentioning. What are we
talking about?
That I got to see honeybees on my blueberries.
I know.
That's the state we're in. And that's a big deal that you got. I mean, you never would have talked about that years ago. It's just, that's how things work.
I mean, we were just talking about, I remember growing up, we had grass. If anybody's growing grass in LA, it's basically just weeds. It starts out with some nice sod. They spend thousands of dollars to sod a whole lawn or whatever. And then within no time, it's basically they're mowing weeds, bluegrass, that long running, that horrible stuff. Anyway, when I grew up, where I grew up in Tennessee, the grass that we had in our yard was full of clover.
Yes.
I don't know what kind of grass that was, but I remember that there was always little
white clover.
You couldn't walk in my yard barefoot because you would step on a bee.
Yep.
And if the grass had not been mowed, freshly mowed, there would be clover there, and the bees were all over it.
The bees are not all bees, but most of the honeybees, they're not from here.
Right.
No, I know.
They're from Europe.
It's not native.
That's true. That's true.
So they're an exotic, and they invaded our country.
And we like them now, just like bamboo is going to be in the future. See, you're getting it. You're getting it.
And those honeybees are responsible for about 35% of the food we eat.
They are.
Or is it more? If I got that statistic
See how impressed we are with an invasive that came to our country?
And I just want to point out. I want to point out in case
it's not invasive.
It's
just exotic.
Okay.
I want to point out that Horticulture Geek says it's a lot of work, but they dump, and I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Tell me your name. They dump the water out of their bird bath every day so that the mosquitoes don't have a chance to breed, and that's really important to do. And I do it as much as possible, but I don't do it every day, and I should.
Do you know about the dirt doctor?
You are the one that told me about the dirt doctor, and if the dirt doctor is watching, please have him contact me because I want to.
He's from Texas. He's got his own radio show.
Is he in Austin by any chance?
All you got to do is search for dirt doctor or Google whatever search engine you're
using. I know, but I'm only.
He's in Texas. He has his own radio show, and it's syndicated. And he's got his website. He's got his own website. You can get on there, and he has all kinds of ideas and solutions for treating stuff that people usually use herbicide on.
Hey guys, go ahead and hit that like button. I want to talk to that guy. Yeah, dirt doctor.
Yeah, I have heard of him
in Texas. And just so we know, Horticulture Geek is a guy. Hello, Frugal Morning Mama. No, Frugal Mama Anna. I'm sorry, there's a glare on the screen and it's really hard for me to read. Let's see. Heidi says she doesn't want to eat bugs. Well, who knows what's going to happen in the future?
Well, you eat bugs every day.
Right.
Everybody eats bugs. If you eat any kind of cereal or anything, believe you me, the FDA will allow so many bug parts in your cereal. So you're eating bugs every single day.
Not just that, but mouse droppings,
olive oil,
everything.
Olive oil. Yeah, they allow a certain amount of fruit fly maggot in the olive oil now because you can't stop it. Wow. It's every olive has one. Better late than never. Dirt Doctor will know. Texas Gal knows Dirt Doctor well. Well, Texas Gal, would you please tell Dirt Doctor to contact me because obviously I need to have him on my a live stream with him someday. Nancy is saying she's only 4 hours away. Good conversation. She uses pellets of natural organisms to keep mosquitoes from producing. Yeah, that's what I use. They call them mosquito dunks, or that may be a kind of a brand name thing. But
you know the best way to prevent mosquitoes? Live out in the desert.
This guy's really full of good wisdom, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
If you don't like mosquitoes, move to the desert.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'll put a plug in for Putnam County, Tennessee, where we are right now. I hardly have any mosquitoes. I don't know why. I never have here. This is a great place.
But I have to say, there were lots of little flies last night.
Lots of little flies. They had little gnats come out at dusk and by this time of year. That's true.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing bad I could say about Putnam County.
They're kind of slow, those, and I was just able to go like that and just squish quite a number of them.
Yeah, too bad we don't have a tongue like a frog when they're flying around. You just zap them and eat them.
I know.
So you don't want me to lure other gardeners into Putnam County at all? You don't want me to do that?
No, not really.
Because you're going to come here, maybe?
Maybe.
You don't want any more? I got to lure somebody in here.
No. Darrell's got all kinds of plants here. Why don't you run down? He's got a Meyer. I'm looking at a Meyer lemon.
Oh, just around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have tropical plants that they live on the back porch in the summer and they live in my rec room in the winter, take up a lot of my space. But yeah, I have a Meyer lemon.
They can't see it. Just look this way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Over there. Meyer lemon, a miniature orange. Let me see. Jabuticaba, I think is how it's from Brazil. Makes a little black cherry looking thing. It grows right on the trunk of the tree. Super sweet, delicious.
What is this here?
This is called a miracle fruit. Awesome thing. I can tell you. Should I tell them the story how I discovered a miracle fruit and what it does?
Quickly.
Okay. I went to a nursery and the guy said, "Here, try this lime," and it was about the size of a grapefruit and
you
crooked.
told me this story.
And so I took a bite out of this lime. It's the most sour thing I've ever had in my life. He goes, "Okay, come over to this little bush, and there's little red berries on this miracle fruit. Eat one of those berries." Ate the berry, and he says, "Now we'll walk around for a while." I said, "Okay," and he said, "Take another bite of that lime." So I took a bite. Oh, and he also made a prediction when I ate the miracle fruit. He said, "You are going to eat that entire lime before we leave my nursery today." I just laughed because it was so sour. Took the first bite. What a miracle fruit does is it reverses your taste buds, and it lasts for a few hours too. That lime tasted like the sweetest limeade I've ever had. I ate that whole thing, no problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. And I got a loquat back here.
Take it easy.
Oh yeah, and a jasmine and a gardenia.
Texas Gal says, "I kill every lemon and lime tree, but guess what? I just bought 2 at Lowe's last week." Okay, we have to give Texas Gal some help with her citrus.
Yeah,
we don't want her to kill any more of those citrus trees.
Well, hey, I'll give her one tip because I read this recently.
And has Lowe's? Hate to mention this, but has Lowe's stopped using neonicotinoids? That's the way I say it. You say it
neonicotinoids,
and I say it neonicotinoids. Because nicotine is the root word of it.
I know.
Neo means new, so you have a new nicotinoid.
So I'm putting the emphasis on the co, and I should be putting the emphasis on the neonicotinoid.
Yeah, it's like nicotine. You want to still hear nicotine in there.
Neonicotinoids.
Yes.
Neonicotinoids.
But I'm right.
Nicotine.
But he's right. Yeah, we're saying it wrong.
You're leaving out 2 syllables.
So I'm from the South.
Now they do call them neonics sometimes for short. But
that's probably what you're thinking.
He's throwing the neo away and just calling them nicotinoids.
Okay.
They ain't have nicotine.
We're all talking about the same thing, and they're pretty sure that it's killing the bees. So when you go to Home Depot and you go into the nursery, you can look on the label and it will say neonicotinoids was used in the development of this plant.
Wow.
I hope you checked that label before you bought those from Lowe's.
But here's a tip to save your citrus. And I read it recently and I've started doing it. Do not water them regularly like you might your other plants. They like a big heavy watering, and then they don't want any until they get pretty dry again. Then water them again. So that makes a big difference.
Absolutely. That when I first planted my citrus, I did not realize that. I did not know that. And the leaves were yellow all the time, and it was never producing leaves. And and I just stopped watering it. There is no irrigation on my lemon tree at all. And I throw water on it. We had a lot of rain this year, which was very unusual. But when it's not raining, I maybe put the hose over it for like 60 to maybe 1 to 2 minutes every month. or 2. I really
Wow.
hardly ever water
it's growing in the ground though, right?
It's growing in the ground.
Yeah, and a pot's gonna be different.
Yeah, a pot's gonna be different. That's gonna be much different. Oh, good. Okay. Mary says she bought from a local nursery. Okay. Mary says she has a loquat and a satsuma. Yeah, I have a mandarin and a loquat also, and a kefir lime. And the only thing that I bought after my last trip to Phoenix that didn't do well was the papaya. And I want to take that back because Armstrong will, if you could find the receipt, you can dig it up and take it back, and they'll give you a refund. What potting mix do you use? Mine are in small pots. Well, they're in small pots for now, but your citrus, you're going to want to have it in. You're going to want to have it in at least a 5-gallon pot, even when it's little.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's a big pot.
You can leave it in a pot, and any tree that you're growing in a pot. One of the things that you want to make sure is that you don't leave it out in the wintertime because it'll freeze and kill a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you want to pull it out of that pot before the roots hit the side of the pot and start to circle around.
Right.
And if it does that, you'll need to either straighten the roots out in the next pot or prune them off because that pattern will continue once you plant that tree, and it'll girdle the tree, and it can kill a tree eventually.
That's interesting because I just planted, I had Eric help me plant that apple tree, and the roots were wrapped all the way around like that.
Yeah.
And he did disrupt them, but I don't think he cut them all off.
They gotta be growing radially away from the tree. And if they're not, once they start growing in a circular manner, they're gonna choke that tree down. So it's just a matter of time. It might be 30 years.
So Texas Gal and Mary Court, check that when you repot the tree, because a lot of the times when you buy trees from the nursery, they've been sitting there for a long time, and if they're in those plastic pots, that's what happens to the roots.
And if you pull it out,
that's the great thing about cloth pots. I have to say, it does not. The roots do not do that. They air prune themselves in a cloth pot.
You're exactly right. And if you do pull it from a pot and you plant it, just straighten out the roots or prune it out. And look at the roots, pull all the dirt, pull everything away from it, and look at the roots and make sure that you don't have any growing roots.
Yeah, every time I've ever just sort of thrown, you get some, even flowers or whatever you get from the nursery, and you just want to quickly plant it, you dig a quick hole and you shove it in. And if you don't get those roots, half the time they die.
Some of them will.
Yeah. Hi, Kaye. Just got home from work. It is Samina. And Samina, I'm so glad you joined us. And you'll have to watch the beginning of the live stream to figure out. I'm in Tennessee, obviously. This is Darrell Luck. This is Guy Zimmerman, forester and bamboo grower. And we're talking about all kinds of things. And so let's see. Ed is here. Ed is in.
Yeah, we're just finished talking about pots.
Thank you, Ed. And we were talking about pots. Container gardening.
Troublemaker.
We were not talking about that. Edwin is joining us, I believe, from Arizona. Ed, are you back to your ranch in Arizona? He went over to Texas for a fabulous birthday party, and which was thrown by his family. And Horticulture Geek is communicating with Texas Gal. And hey, everybody, if you have not hit the like button, please do that right now. And we only have about 22 people on, but everybody seems engaged. And if anybody else has any questions related to gardening, obviously Darrell knows a lot about gardening. You weren't such a big gardener, though. You had a garden.
Yeah, I had a garden. I had a garden for years.
Yeah. And what did you grow out in your garden?
Chemicals.
Chemicals.
Stop it.
No, I grew just about everything, everything from
Sit up
corn.
straight there.
Yes, ma'am.
Corn. I would grow everything organic because I didn't use any chemicals except for a little fertilizer.
I'm sure.
I used fertilizer.
That's good.
And I found that, a lot of the native plants around would attract the insects. So I didn't weed. I just left the plants grow up, and it did several things. One, For example, snow peas. The rabbits love my snow peas, and when I and I lived in the city, and I took the shotgun out a couple of times and woke the neighbors up. But
Can you shoot a shotgun in the
Everybody's
city?
favorite neighbor in cities.
You're not supposed to. On occasion.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But
Now, if you want some rabbit stew, that's a good time.
sometimes you have to make an exception.
If you share the rabbit with your neighbors.
So I let
Don't
the
do it.
weeds.
Don't do that.
I let the weeds grow up around the snow peas, and the rabbits never bothered it anymore.
Interesting. Well, what would that make a difference?
Because they couldn't see it.
They didn't notice
They're
Ah.
visual. They see they see those
Oh, I
snow
see.
peas,
So
and then the
your weeds got to be a foot high or something, or higher?
they were maybe a foot high. You know,
And the snow peas did okay with
yeah.
all the weeds there?
They did
Well, I don't know how many people have gone back and seen all my videos or have been with me since the very first year, but I interviewed a corn farmer in Tennessee, and he did a heritage corn, and he showed how he did not weed this big field. Because he said corn is a member of the grass family, and you can't start putting chemicals down and all that. And so he would just have weeds in between the rows.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this great heritage corn.
Now, there's a little bug that came through here, and it's probably out in California by now because it started at the east and worked west. Japanese beetle.
Yeah.
I know.
You got Japanese beetle? When it first came through, it just got all over my corn.
I don't have it so bad, but I mean, I know it's bad.
It was all over my corn, but when I was letting the weeds grow up, there was a weed it liked better than my corn.
You're kidding.
Yeah. So I just left that weed. I made sure that I had plenty of that weed growing, and it stayed off my corn, and it stayed on the weed.
Some people are so concerned about weeds, and they're out there pulling weeds. All that is so labor intensive to pull all those weeds. And mulch does help with that. But you're saying it was actually an advantage to having the weeds protecting the garden. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be taking. Tell me about that corn, Darrell. Darrell's going to send me home with some corn. I'm going to quickly get that into the ground somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's an open pollinated corn. That means you can save your own seed and it'll come good again the next year. But what it also means is you can play with the genetics yourself. And I got that seed from an old farmer from Georgia at a seed exchange I went to. And he said it had been in his family for generations, and it was a small-eared, yellow, sweet corn, but that it was really, really sweet. So I took it home, and he was right. The ears were kind of small, but it was super sweet and sweeter than any other sweet corn that I'd put it up against. So I was like, all right, I'm going to keep growing this. And I've grown it now for 30 years or more, and it's I select every year. If I see an ear that's bigger than usual, I do not eat that ear, and I save that seed. And
that would be tough for me. I would have to eat
it's hard.
I would have to eat it. Yeah. No.
I also started finding 2 and even 3 ears showing up on one plant. Well, I sure saved those seeds. And then when I plant the next year, I'd do like a row of the large ears, and then beside it, a row of the double ears, and then beside that, a row of the triple ears. I grow them all together and let them mix. I've done it that way at least 20 years now. And what's happened is the corn has grown much longer. The ears are almost double the size they used to be. I get lots of double and triple ears, and it's just a wonderful corn. But I have to give up. I can't grow it here. Squirrels wipe me out. They get the corn when it's dinky. It hasn't even started to make kernels. They come in and eat it all.
Shotgun.
Christina.
Good
Chemicals.
Chemicals.
Stop.
Good squirrels.
Stop. Christina wants to know, how do each of you compost on your sites, and how extensively do you compost? Did you compost, Guy, when you kept a garden?
No.
Okay.
I didn't do any composting.
Did you buy compost or?
No.
Oh.
No, I just plowed the ground, planted the seed, and put a little fertilizer on there, and let it grow.
But you had
put a little lime. Make sure that it's lined. The pH is right of your soil. You got to make sure that.
Did you test your soil?
I
Because
did.
That's good, because a lot of people. Somebody was just telling me this on one of my recent videos, that a lot of people just. No, I know what it was. It was in Kentucky. It was the gal that worked at the cooperative extension office, and she was saying that a lot of people in Kentucky just think that they need to use lime, and they go out and put all this lime out there before they've ever tested their soil.
Right.
The pH of the soil is very important because it allows certain chemicals to be absorbed at certain levels of pH. And if your corn is too acid, it's not going to be able to absorb and grow properly. So
Right.
you gotta get that pH. And usually every state has an agricultural extension office, and you can take a soil sample down there.
I'm just going to say that. Mhm.
And the way you do it, you take a shovel, and if it's over a garden, you take it all over your entire garden, put it in a baggie, and take it down to them. Or you can go there, and a lot of times they'll have a package that you can put it all in, and they'll send it off for a nominal fee, and you can get the pH back, and they will even tell you how much lime you need to put on.
But you take a little bit from here and all over?
Yeah,
I
all
see.
scattered all over.
Okay. Because, like, for example, on your backyard where you would have your garden, it's all the same. But, it's in my garden is very different because, I have most of what I've done is raised beds. And so from bed to bed, it could be different.
Yeah. You
And it could be like 10 samples or something. So
Yeah.
I've never done it because of that. But can't you also buy the little?
You can buy pH meters, and there's all different kinds of pH meters, and
Yeah.
litmus paper
Yeah,
that you can use to tell what the pH
and that
of your
works,
soil.
right?
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
But you need to know what the pH of the soil and what that crop that you're growing likes. So you want to make sure that you get it in that range,
And you never see that on seed packets, what kind of soil a
No.
plant needs. So I guess you'd have to research.
There's acid-loving plants, and there's
Well,
non-acid loving.
yeah.
There's a lot of non-acid loving plants, and
I mean, most are. Wouldn't you say most are non-acid loving?
most I would think
Yeah.
of your garden.
Yeah, most of your annual vegetables,
Mhm.
right? They like more of a
They might like
alkaline.
over medium
Mhm.
pH.
Well, to address her
Probably seven.
composting question,
Yeah.
I do compost all the time, and I don't have a really big compost pile right now. I'm trying to dwindle it down, and I'm putting it out on my beds now too. But I'm getting ready to make a whole new compost operation, and I'm going to have 3 bins side by side, but going down a slope. So the first one is where I'll dump things first, and I layer it with lots of materials, and let that go for a while, and I'll be able to remove the side of that and just push it all into the next bin, and then let that go further compost, and I'll do that a 3rd time.
Horticulture Geek has to go. Everybody say bye. So glad you got
Bye.
to tune in. Deadly Wound says, no weeding. I'm willing to test drive that idea. Whole garden? Question mark.
You can do that with mulch.
I did
weeding.
the whole garden. Now there's some plants that you probably will have to weed around. It would be pumpkins and a lot of the ground cover plants that
Right.
you and tomatoes. You probably want to weed around tomatoes.
And see, and I never do because I use mulch. If I'm going to plant gourds or
You don't
pumpkins,
have to.
I cover the whole ground where I think they might
Yeah.
expand into. I cover that with hay or leaves or something real thick.
Newspaper
And then I
articles.
plant in the middle and let it spread out over the top. I never weed all season long. It's just once I plant the plant, I'm pretty much done.
You don't have to
We
water
have
it.
Indonesia in the house. Thank you
Aha.
for joining us from Indonesia.
Awesome. There's some bamboo over there.
That's one of the largest countries in the world, really. It's just so spread out. There's so many islands. She is learning. She's thanking us and sending a lot of love from Indonesia. And Mary says, growing in cloth pots leaches out the calcium, but that's an easy fix. Buy some generic Tums. I hate to recommend anybody to, generic Tums, I suppose, to buy some sort of over-the-counter brand. But I guess it is just calcium.
I doubt it.
I mean, I doubt
No,
it too.
I doubt it.
But yeah.
Or get snail shells and crush them.
Yeah, find a natural way of doing that. Don't support Tom's business.
Yeah. Well, she said generic.
I've taken lots of time.
Whatever.
I love the logic and energy saving idea of your 3 bins at 2 levels. What?
Yeah, on a slope.
Were you saying that?
I'm
sorry,
going
I was
to do it on
reading.
a slope, and that way you don't have to shovel it and throw it each time you want to move it around and turn it. Once it's gone a while, you push it into the next bin. It'll fall down into the next bin.
Oh, Texas gal. They have those fire ants in. Do you remember when I went to see Elizabeth at Lizzie Lou's family farm. That was in 17. And she uses a flamethrower
Cool.
for the anthills for the fire ants,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And she has become quite a sensation on Instagram with those two adorable twin girls. Oh my gosh.
Both of
and
them
they
have a flamethrower.
no, probably not yet.
But
they will.
Cool.
They will.
I can't wait.
They will. They will. They are farm girls for sure. But I mean, they're barefoot all the time out there when she's in the garden. And I'm just going, no. I saw those ants when I was there. I'm going, no, not barefoot.
We got them here in Tennessee.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're bad, right?
They're not terribly here. In fact, I
It's
haven't
more
seen
southern.
any.
Yeah.
But in White County, the county adjacent to us, I saw big hives of them just yesterday.
Yes, and Mary's mentioning loss of calcium. In case anyone does not know, loss of calcium causes blossom end rot. And it's kind of an easy thing to fix. Blossom end rot is not a disease that you have to go, oh my God, my plant is done. If you've got an indeterminate tomato plant, it's going to keep producing tomatoes. All you need to do is correct that calcium. You're probably watering too much, and you're leaching out that calcium. And depending on if you're in a pot or in the ground, I've had that problem before, but the vine will still produce if you just correct that problem. But tomatoes like long, deep watering infrequently. So they do not like frequent watering. Some people go, oh, I'm watering my tomatoes every day. I'm going, no, don't do that. That's not what they want. And Zahira, I think I'm seeing your name right. Zahira says she is happy that we mentioned Indonesia. You are welcome. And now I've mentioned your name. And it warms her heart. Okay, wonderful. I'm happy. It's only calcium. I'll list the ingredients. Be right back. Mary's going to list the ingredients in the generic terms.
That'd be interesting.
Except we're not going to call them that, because if it's generic, it won't be. It
Right.
won't be
Buy
that.
Calm.
What?
Calm. You can buy pure calcium in Calm.
In Calm?
CALM. You can buy it. It's good to eat yourself.
Okay.
So
It's called Calm?
CALM.
That's a product.
It's a product. You can buy it on the internet or anywhere.
I know there's an app called Calm.
And it's got magnesium if you need magnesium, a little bit of magnesium.
Okay.
You can buy both. And you can consume it. I do all the time.
Zahira and Samina and everybody that just tuned in, please hit that. And Organic Gardening is from North Carolina is in the house. Hello. Thank you for joining us. You'll have to go back and watch the beginning. I can't possibly tell you what all we've covered. We've touched on a lot of subjects. And it is now, let me see. It is, gosh, we've been on for like almost an hour and a half.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah. OAG. Oh my gosh. OAG is in the house. Everybody say hello to Charles from, I should be with Charles today, but I am not with Charles today. I'm in Tennessee. Charles is watching. Please say hello to Charles. Anybody have any questions for Charles? How's your wife doing, Charles? Let us know. And another hello from North Carolina, Dave M. Where have you been? What, were you working or something? Okay, whatever. Let's see. Thank you for joining us, Dave and Charles. Charles, we have been talking about all kinds of things, many of the things that you and I covered when I interviewed you. So you'll have to go back and watch that.
You and I would have a lot to talk about, I think. Come on up here sometime.
After being in town all day. Oh, he was in town all day. Okay, so everybody is saying hi to Charles. Let's see. Dave M says, hey, I got... What? Hey, I got secrets, Okay, whatever. Be mysterious. Let's see. Eggshells work if you put them in the food processor. That's true, but they break down very slowly. So if you find that you're getting blossom end rot on your tomatoes, putting ground eggshells on your tomato plant is not going to be the solution. You need something that's going to go faster. And you can buy. I know it's buying another product, but you can buy liquid calcium that you can add to your watering water. Everybody's happy to see OAG. They're talking amongst themselves. So, Charles, let me ask you: have you seen any copperhead snakes since I was down there? Because we were talking before with Darrell, and he said that once he built his bamboo oasis forest down here, bamboo grove, and with all that mulch and that, it's a completely different sort of environment, and he hasn't really seen copperhead snakes or dangerous snakes.
There used to be a lot of rock ledges that were open and exposed. They would get under there and all, and I covered all that over with soil and planted bamboo there, so I kind of ruined their little environment.
Right.
They've moved on somewhere else, and that's good for me.
Yeah, that's good for you. And Charles, actually, I think, Charles, you only have, it's either 9 or 11 acres, I think, but Darrell somehow managed to wind up with about 38 acres in a very hillside wooded environment here in Putnam County, Tennessee. And they're trying to convince me to buy a piece of property over here, right?
Yeah. Everybody, if you're going to retire, this is the place to come. It really is.
Wait, don't say that.
Wait till you get your property.
The price is going to go up if you say that. Oh, let's see.
Great place to live.
No copperheads this year. Yeah. I wonder if it's got anything to do with that field over there, Charles. When I was down interviewing Charles, he was talking about he has a beautiful, it's still beautiful pond.
I watched it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
So you saw the runoff from that.
He
has it's made the fish toxic. He can't eat the fish in his pond anymore.
It's terrible. I'd be able to do something about that. Make them stop. They were spraying some of your chemicals over there. Got on his land. That doesn't seem right to me. They should have to contain it if they're going to do it. That's not right.
Ed says, Kaye, I'm still learning how to garden here in AZ. The heat is a major factor in any success. We'll learn if I follow you and your advice. Yes, Ed, I have a whole Phoenix playlist. Everybody over there is using wood chips. Everybody. They've got all kinds of food forests, but and they're layering their food forests in Arizona and Phoenix, and you know how hot it is. But if you have the right upper story, then underneath that you have your mulberry tree. This is the way I remember it. At the top you have your weeping acacia, and then you have your mulberries, and then you have your mangoes, and then you have your about in the same area you have your citrus, and then you have your avocados. And then underneath you have your bushes and your various roots and all that stuff. So, when you have 38 acres, you can spread out and do whatever. But when you have a lot of these, the biggest property I saw in Phoenix was 3 acres. No, was it 3? No, I think it was less than an acre. Everybody's doing urban gardening down there. Maybe an acre at the most. And so you have to grow very intensely,
right?
In that heat. And Ed, I don't know how much space you have in your Arizona. Let's see. Somebody's talking about a cover crop. Oh, Double Dog. Hey, you just joined us. We have Eric from San Juan Island has just joined us. Double Dog Farm. Yes, but Eric, talk a little bit about that. You're on an island that has a wet and a dry side, just kind of like Hawaii, and you're on the dry side, as I recall, and you go all summer with no rain at all. Most people think everybody up near Washington State, you just get rain all the time, but it's not true. And you have to be on a certain side of the mountain. Patty's talking about a winter cover crop. Now, Patty has an urban garden. And Patty, where did you actually plant this cover crop? You have your one vegetable garden, and then you have all your fruit trees separate. So, Yeah, I'd like to check out San Juan Island. I really would. I need to go somewhere. Let's see. Edwin, water at night, make wells around trees and bushes. You're getting some advice, Ed. Ed has some help at the ranch there. Let's see. Oh, wait. Organic gardening in North Carolina says that they are driving. Please be careful. Let's see. Okay. Wood chips for the satsuma and all the fruit fell off after we added it. That's interesting. Mary said she used some different wood chips for her satsuma, her citrus tree, and all the fruit fell off after they added it.
Huh. Wasn't walnut, I hope.
Is everybody hit the like button, Charles and Eric, and everybody go ahead and hit that like button, please. Let's see.
Now some trees will have toxins.
Yeah, walnuts produce toxin. I know in the roots. I don't know if it's in the wood, but it's in the roots. And if you have walnuts trees in your property, don't try to grow a garden right around them.
Don't use mulch from a walnut tree.
Uh-huh.
The whole island is in a rain shadow, which means the whole island gets no rain all summer. Is that what you're saying, Eric? Let's see. My brother has an awesome garden in Monterey, Tennessee. Where's Monterey?
Yeah, that's on the other side,
right down the road
of Cookeville. Yeah,
You're kidding.
It's in Putnam County, the best place to live in America.
What? I'll go there in the morning. I have to find something to do between 8 a.m. and 10:30 and 10.
Well, 10.
8 to 10.
It's going to take you an hour to get to where you're
Monterey, and it's the opposite direction.
It's going to take you an hour and a half to get to where you're going.
Yeah, if you start in Monterey and try to make the airport, you've added more than a half hour to your time.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
That's just too close. Okay, what time is it?
Go there today. Yeah, go there later today.
It's 4:30.
Yeah, it doesn't get dark for 3 hours.
But you're saying it's an hour and a half to get to Monterey?
No.
No, how long to get to Monterey?
Probably a little more than 30 minutes.
Well, from here an hour.
No, not the Monterey.
Yeah.
Nah, an hour. No, I can almost be in Knoxville.
Oh, no, well, I'm thinking Crossville. Never mind.
Yeah, you are thinking Crossville. Yeah, no, probably 30 minutes or a little less.
30 minutes.
A little less.
Okay, who just told me that? Organic gardening in North Carolina. Okay, can you get organic gardening in North Carolina? Can you get your brother online really quick here and and make a connection with me? Because maybe I'll go over and see it. But the thing is, and also, what kind of garden? It's April. You know what I'm? If you're talking about an awesome vegetable,
he might have a big garden. He might be growing nothing but corn.
But it wouldn't be more than. And he wouldn't even.
No, it wouldn't. It's just getting started.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
What kind of a garden is the awesome garden you're talking about? Because not much is growing vegetable wise in April here. Let's see.
Just bamboo shoots, pretty much.
Less than 10 inches less. That's a lot less.
Yeah.
It's frost.
Right.
Well, I think we're through with frost, though.
I think so.
I was never, Eric, you sent me that aronia, and I was never able to get that growing. And I felt so bad about that I bought 2 more from Baker Creek live plants, and they didn't grow either. I don't know. I guess I just can't grow that here. I mean, where I am. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Organic gardening in North Carolina. This is a mountain man. He didn't scare me.
What's he say?
She says his brother is a mountain man. He might scare me. Let's see. It's only. I don't know what that means. Let's see. They're talking about some kind of a nursery in Phoenix. Okay.
They gotta put rabbit ears.
Choke cherry. Oh, I wish I could grow choke cherry. My friend Bob used to send me the choke cherry jelly, and it was so good. But he's in North Dakota. Choke cherry does? Yeah. When does it have fruit?
I don't know.
Later in the summer.
Oh, okay.
You don't see
Oh,
much
that was
of
the
it. I haven't
best.
seen much.
I've got some back there on the hill.
Well, you probably have most everything probably here, right?
I have a lot. It's good variety of
Yeah.
trees, yeah.
Do you have wild berries?
Well, yes and no. And I wanted to talk about them, and we didn't on our little tour. I never mentioned the berries I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's wild now. It's another one of our imports. Some people might even consider invasive. It's called Japanese wineberry. You know that one?
I'm not familiar with
Okay,
that.
it looks like a raspberry plant pretty much, and the berries are kind of like raspberries, but they have a little greasy feel to them. I don't know. It's just different, but very good tasting berries. And I had one little sprig that arrived in a pile of dirt that I ordered when I lived in East Tennessee. And as soon as it came up, I recognized it because it has a red cane, you can tell, and it's, jaggery like a blackberry or raspberry. Anyway, from that one cane, I brought it over here, and I have seeded it all over my property. It's growing wild. I've got trellises set up with it. I've given it to other people. From one little sprig, that thing, I eat berries all summer from it.
Oh my God, it's going to be everywhere.
Yes. I gave a gift to Putnam County.
We're gonna have to
I
kick
see,
you out of the county.
Eric, I didn't know where you were going with that. Aronia is chokecherry. Oh, now I'm really disappointed that I couldn't get that going. Mary says she has walnut-sized tomatoes already.
Wow, where's she at?
She's in Alabama.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let's see. And Patrick has joined us from London.
Wow.
Hello, Patrick. Thank you for joining us. He missed my last one. You have nice guys with you today. Ha ha ha. Aronia is chokecherry.
Literally.
And yeah, his name is Guy. Just so you know.
A nice guy.
Did your dad actually name you that, or did
My dad's named Guy. My grandfather was named Guy.
You guys are really imaginative.
man.
And my son
He
is
comes
named
from
Guy.
A long line of guys.
No, we don't get
I thought your son was
confused.
named
We don't get
Tom.
confused. Guy Thomas Zimmerman. The fourth.
Oh,
He's number
man.
4. Yeah.
So if you're at a family reunion,
He
someone
stopped-
yells, "Hey, guy!"
He stopped the line. He stopped the. He wouldn't name.
He
his
comes from a long line of guys.
Yes,
cool guys. I might
cool
add.
guys.
And by the way, I'm
Oh.
also tree guy.
Tree.
I'm the tree guy. I've got my own website called treeguy.org.
All right.
Treeguy.org if you want
Yeah.
to contact this guy. What do you have on your website?
Everything about trees that are growing in this area.
Would somebody's growing in this area?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Would
I'll check it out.
chokecherry grow in Alabama?
I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Well, why can't I get it to grow in California? If it grows in San Juan Island and it grows in Alabama, why wouldn't it grow?
Yeah.
I just didn't have enough sun or something. Does it
Well,
need a lot of sun?
It's an understory
Yeah,
tree.
it's an
I don't know. It doesn't
understory.
have full
Probably.
sun.
If it's in full sun, it might not be good.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it won't get full sun where I am. Anyway, okay. Does anybody have any other questions for us? Because now we have been on for an hour and 42 minutes.
Wow.
And we talked about a lot of different things, some more controversial than others, and we had more controversial things to discuss on our list, but
Too controversial to bother with.
it may be too controversial to talk about. So, where's the?
Where's what?
Thank you, Dave. He always joins us, and he always goes, "Where's the pizza?"
Where's the pizza?
Yeah, he always. Let's see. Bedtime. Okay, Patrick. Thank you for. I hope you were watching the whole time. I only saw your name just recently, and so.
So how if somebody's
amazing.
new to
I
this
also have a
site?
brother. Eric has a brother named Guy,
Oh, cool.
so you have something in common.
Another guy in the world.
Another cool guy.
We get some very hot summers. Okay, what's Jill Green? And you can find her at Sweet Life Garden on Instagram or Facebook. And I think she's also under Jill Green. But if you look up Sweet Life Garden, you'll find her probably easier. Maybe too much sun? No, not in my garden. That's not even possible. Okay, guys, did everybody hit the like button that's joined us recently? We only have about 18. It was 17, that's 18. So did somebody join us? Unless you have any more questions, guys, I think that we're kind of done. And we've enjoyed communicating with you and connecting with you, and I'm glad that you were able to connect with each other. And right. Okay. All right, everybody. I am going to sign off. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Watch the replay if you missed a lot of it. And appreciate all your support. And what's coming up, I will be going back on Sunday, and then Monday, yes, is my 7th anniversary of what is that? That's a wasp. That's a yellow jacket. Okay, go away. The 7th anniversary. A hornet.
Don't slap at a hornet.
Don't slap at a hornet.
No.
Okay. My 7th anniversary of my channel, Late Bloomer, and if you have been inspired by me and you have not had a chance to make a video, this is your very last chance to make a 1-minute video. And one important note is it must be horizontal, because videos go like this. They don't go like this. On Facebook, yes, you can do a video like this, but not on YouTube. Videos have to be sideways with your camera or phone, and make a 1-minute tribute video for me to include. I'm going to rush home on Sunday, and I'm going to put the ones together that I have. I think I've got about 4 of them so far. And if I've inspired you in some way over the course of you following me, and I would love to hear from you and include that. So you need to, I can't type sideways, but you need to send that to me. I'm just going to say it, and maybe Patty or Christina can quickly type this. It's Kaye at latebloomershow.com. You'll need my email address, and you will need wetransfer.com, wetransfer.com. You can send large files up to 2 gigabytes. A 1-minute video will not be more than 100 megabytes. And one thing I didn't tell people is a lot of people went and shot a video like this. First of all, it's vertical, which is not good. And if you go like this, the camera is too close to your face. Literally, your face that's going to be your forehead, and that's going to be your chin. So you really have to put it on a tripod or have someone hold it at least 3 feet away. At least 3 feet away, probably 4 or 5 feet away. You look right into the camera and you smile and you say, "Hi, my name is Guy Zimmerman from Putnam County, Tennessee. And Kaye, you have inspired me because blah, 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 blah. Thanks so much. Happy anniversary. See ya." And you have the thing in between where I've inspired you. So, Eric, come on, Doubleday Farm. You've been with me for the longest of anybody on this chat. So you got to send me something.
You ever see Bigfoot around here?
I heard him.
Did you hear?
I did. I think I did.
So somebody, please,
right back in that hollow.
Yeah, and then do the WeTransfer, Patty. wetransfer.com is the link where you'll go to send the video. And go ahead and send that to me, and I'll get those when I get home, and I'll quickly compile them, and you will see that on Monday at some point. And I will have a live stream on Monday. So make sure you have hit that bell for notifications on my channel so that you will get a notification that I'm going live or that I am live. And so you can get in on the beginning of that. And I am not sure when I'm going to do that, probably at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's just put that down, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday. And I will be on for a while, and I'll also have these videos, which will be uploaded so that you can see those starting on Monday as well. So thanks so much, everybody, and thanks for your joining us and your participation and for your support. And I will see you on Monday.
Adios, aloha,
see y'all later.
Hasta vista.
Old Alabama Gardener, get in touch with me.
Yeah, he will. Don't worry. Okay. Christina says, thanks for your interviews and discussion. See you Sunday online. Happy 7th anniversary, Kaye, in advance. Christina, it is not Sunday. It is Monday. Earth Day is Monday.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people are working. And Christina, I know you'll be working, so that'll be a problem. But yeah, I'll be traveling on Sunday, so it will be Monday. That's Earth Day. That's my anniversary, and it will be Monday. So you'll have to catch the live stream. I'll have to catch the playback. Okay, they're talking about hornets. Okay, guys. Thank you, Deadly Wound. I appreciate that. I have not had a chance to email you, obviously, but I will. Bye, you two guys are a hoot. LOL. Okay, thank you. I'll watch you after the fact on Monday morning. Okay, that sounds great. Okay, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.